going on, guys? So I talked to Jake earlier today, Jake Barkell at Classic Daily, and we're gonna take the car over there Saturday morning and we're gonna stuff this thing on the dyno, and we're gonna see what it makes. He's got a Dynocom all-wheel drive linked dyno with a eddy brake on it, so we're gonna load the dyno, and he wants to play with it a little bit so he can kind of figure out the settings for the brake for a lighter car like mine, and then he can work on it with other cars so he has a good idea how to set the dyno up. But we're gonna go up there, we're gonna put this thing on the dyno, and we're gonna make some rips. We're gonna see what this car makes, let him do what he needs to do with the rest of it. So I'm gonna have to take some fuel with me just to make sure that there's fuel in it, because there is only 2 gallons in the car. So realistically, I think we might get 3 or 4 good solid 4th gear pulls maybe, so we'll see. But when I raced Steve, we came back, and as I pulled it into the garage here, it started to idle high, and it did show it on video, and I'll cut that in right now. It's got a high idle now, I don't know why.
Like that sounded kind of weird.
What do you mean? All right, so yeah, it was kind of weird. I was like, oh, what the hell's going on? So I was just out here and I was looking the car over because, like I said, we're getting ready to go to the dyno, so I need to make sure that we're in good shape so we don't have any issues when we get there. So I'm looking at the car and I see the hose clamp for the booster line is just kind of sitting there instead of being up here where it needs to be. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna tighten that clamp up, take the intake off the turbo. We're gonna boost leak test the car, start the car up, make sure it idles good, check the oil, make sure that we're full, and probably dump the overflow. And then, like I said, just fill the thing up with fuel, and then we'll stuff it in the trailer, get it to the dyno, make some wax, see what it does, let him set up the brake with the car, and see where we're really at. And then what we're gonna do is just bring the car back home. I do have some crawler valve springs on the way, so when they get here, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll pull the timing belt off, pull the valve cover, camshafts, and then we'll go ahead and we'll change the valve springs. And then once we get the valve springs in, once we have the baseline of what the car did, because I want to keep it consistent, is we're gonna take the car back to Jake's, and then we'll actually try to tune the car and then play with cam tuning to see if we can shift some power up top or take care of where it kind of falls out of boost and gets real fat. I'm gonna tighten this clamp on the car. We're gonna get this boost leak test done, go get the battery, start this thing up, make sure we're ready to go, and then we'll bring you guys back in Saturday morning when we go to the dyno. So let's get to work. You ain't gonna be able to see me the best, but I'll stand out here while the compressor runs so we can talk about this real quick. So, raced with my buddy Steve the other day, right? So he messaged me, and he says he wants another shot at the white car, but this time he wants to bring his white car. So he's got a white 2006 WRX. It's got a IAG block. It's got what boost control performance. They got a turbo they call an STI 500, which is a 20G that's modified to support 500 horsepower. And right now he says he's at about 350 wheel horsepower, I think like 330 torque. And it's got the STI 6-speed. Well, it's windy out here, so hopefully it's not too windy. I guess we'll walk over here, so I guess you won't see me at all. But cool, it just quit. So yeah, we can talk about this in here because it's cold. We'll turn Stevie down. But anyway, this WRX has a STI 6-speed swap, and he says he wants to spank this car with it. So we're gonna see. He wants to bring it over, and I put the post up on Facebook. We're gonna do the damn thing, and hopefully my buddy Greg with his Hellcat Dakota comes too, because then we can just have a little bit of fun. I don't know, Alex, and then Alex said something about maybe bringing his Mustang, so we'll see. I don't want to get too many people out here and piss the neighbors off, we might get a couple cars out here and have a little bit of fun. Alex and Greg are probably only going to want to do a dig, which I'm great with. That's what I prefer. And then Steve might want to do a roll on the way back with the WRX. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if he does, he's probably going to take off like a rocket because that STI's got rally gears. And then when this thing grabs traction, it's going to start motoring, and it's going to be it. So we'll see. So that might still happen for this car. We might get another couple races in this year before we have to shut her down. So we haven't had any snow yet. The wife said there was a little bit of rain-snow mix the other day, but we ain't ready for that. So, like I said, no snow on the ground. The weather is going to be, I think, mid-50s. So we'll see what happens. So Greg's going to Milan, so good luck to him Saturday with Hellcat South Dakota. The truck's fast. It's crazy fast. So he's got that thing trapping 137, he said, and it was pretty skaty. So if he can get it go to Milan, they got a good track surface, this thing should be pretty fast. And TJ just got the caliber off the dyno with the 62, made 650 wheel, which is awesome. So need to get that thing up there in the 30s though, buddy. I need to see 700. But yeah, so he says he's going to the track tomorrow. So good luck to you too, man. I don't know if I'll have this up before you see it or not, but if I do, hopefully I do, and hopefully you see it. Good luck, man. Go show me 140 miles an hour, man. That thing should be deep in the 10s at that point. But anyway, so I'm gonna get this boost leak test done, check the fluids, and then we'll start it up, see if it idles good now with that vacuum hose fix. I'm hoping that's all it was with that idle, with the higher idle. Usually it is. So, like I said though, we're gonna get all this stuff hooked up, and hopefully we're good to go. And then we can just take some fuel with us and see what happens on the dyno. We'll take the laptop though. I'm not gonna bother with the tablet. We're gonna get some good logs and see where we're at. But anyway, let's get this stuff done. Well, let's make sure nothing wrong with it. We'll go outside again. Boost leak tested though, came out great. And actually when I tested it, I looked at the regulator and we were way high. So I looked at the boost gauge and it was pegged. And when I had the regulator set at 29 pounds, that's right around where the boost gauge was. Well, the compressor must have allowed a little, so the regulator must have kicked itself up a little bit because it's not like it's programmed or anything, it's just a manual regulator. So as it got to that 29 pound threshold, it just kept building, and eventually the regulator said it was at 38 pounds. So we let a little bit of air in the car, and I mean, it didn't show any leaks, so the injector seals were good. No throttle body leak, no hose on the back. It's idling great right now. So I think we're good, at least I hope we're good. We'll find out when we start this thing up Saturday morning to stuff it in the trailer. But otherwise, I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'm just gonna let the car warm up, make sure it goes through a good heat cycle, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll cut the video off. I'll bring you guys back in when we load the car Saturday morning and we go to the dyno. We'll just make this one video. I'll see you guys then.
Chain's hanging a little low, don't you think? It just looks low to me. Come on.
Yep.
That one.
You call me a piece of shit? Oh. Anyway. Getting ready to go to the dyno. Got to put the battery in the car. Nice, crispy, frosty October 31st morning. The laptop and everything's already in the truck, so we just got to get the car in the fuel. Get out of here. Grab a couple couplers. Well, clamps anyway, not couplers. Hopefully we don't worry about couplers. I don't know how many pulls Jake's wanting to make. We'll see. Okay. So we got some plugs, wires, and a coil, just in case. Gonna go ahead and fire this thing up and get her loaded. And get out of the way to the dyno. Okay. Do have some clamps in the car. We'll grab a couple more just in case. Let's see. Looks good to me. Second here. It is pretty cold. Got just under 80 pounds of oil pressure cold. I'm okay with that. I like oil pressure. Moisture buildup in the turbo being as cold as it is, and we're going to get this thing strapped down. Yeah, it was so cold this morning, the trailer locks were frozen. I had to hold my hand on one lock for a couple minutes. And then by the time I actually got it to let go, it never wanted to fully let go, but it would rotate enough that I could get it to let go of the door. And then I turned it upside down, a bunch of water poured out. So that was pretty crazy. I'd never had a lock freeze before. Lesson learned though. Exactly know how warm I got, but we'll find out when we get in there. Hopefully warm enough. And of course you grabbed a half empty fuel can, so I gotta go grab a full one. Didn't realize I had one that was half full. So we'll grab that quick. Then I got her getting me a drink and making me some quick breakfast. We'll be on the way. Sure is a crispy morning, that's for sure. Ran for a bit. Hopefully the exhaust got warm enough. We'll see. Back this thing over there. Check tire pressure in the trailer. She should be done by then. Holy cow. It is cold today. Holy smokes. We got people going to the racetrack today. That's gonna be some air to have, that's for sure. Keep some heat in here. Okay. Sure we're good. Yeah, all right. Let's go make a number. Oh no, I gotta grab scales. Forgot about that. He wants to weigh his BMW while we're there. I was gonna drag my scales along. Scales.
Are you grabbing them?
Yeah. So made it to Jake's. We're gonna see if the ground's flat enough where we're at to unload the car, and it don't look like it is. All right.
What are you more excited about? Your Dyno stuff.
You know, I don't know.
I think I do it. Pretty girls.
I've never been over there.
Yeah.
We were talking shit about the one that opened on M20 though.
Oh, yeah, how they closed?
Yeah, there was a turkey hut. And turkey was like in a suit.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night at that bonfire.
Do you need this door open?
Yeah. How do you want to unhook the front?
You're there too? Leave it neutral.
We're ready to roll. You're tall.
Is it straight key
Yeah,
or
push button.
was it?
Push button.
Oh, it's up here.
Yeah. Good deal. Yeah, so it's the one that sticks out. You can still pull that. It's janky, but it's race car. So
Yeah.
all right, so he's playing with the eddy brake settings so we can load the dyno so we can actually get it to make the correct boost, and then we'll get an idea what it makes for a number here. Probably get it to go. Unless there's something benefit of eating it there.
Quick.
Yeah, the only benefit is it comes out really fast.
Yeah.
Eating there?
It's really,
Okay,
it comes out, it's like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh shit.
It's part of the
Yeah.
experience.
Okay.
That's why I figured if we just go
Yeah,
and sit for a little bit.
Yeah, if it's that quick, we'll go. I just didn't want to go sit there for an hour.
Oh, no, no, no.
Oh yeah, it's a weird, strange.
I got you.
It's weird, like they bring up engine like before you even put it on.
Oh no shit.
Part of the fun, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to, I mean, I went there as a kid. We used to go there. When we moved here, we were there all the time. Not, you know, like anything, kind of hit.
Get used to it.
Yeah, it's like, now we just cook shit here.
Right. Yeah, for some reason this thing will not make a boost. On the road and see what the hell's going on. Yeah, because the map is still only seeing 230 and it's holding it all the way out. Yeah, it just comes in so lazy for some reason.
Do those numbers make sense?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I have no idea what to expect. Yeah. It's a combination that nobody's fucked with yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the turbo, I was one of the first ones to get it. There's been some guys in the dyno, but they're going out with like methanol and shit, making like high fours, like mid-high fours. I have no idea what to make on ethanol with what we got.
Yeah, we're tuned with that.
Right. But I mean, as far as air fuel, it's though. I mean, we're high 11 both wells all the way through. Well, might as well call it then. And that's how the thing's gonna act on me. That kind of sucks. So we got on the dyno, and the damn thing only wants to make 230 to 240 kPa. I think the most we've seen was the first pull, it made 270, and then we tried to play with the load, and all over the place it's anywhere between 220 and 245. So we're only making 21, 22 pounds of boost, and it still thinks that it's making, what was it, 430, 490? Yeah, that last one?
430 and 500 foot-pounds.
Yeah, 433 torque or horsepower and 491 foot-pounds of torque, and that was on the last pull. It only.
No, that was that. So
was that one? Oh, okay, maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
last pull was 448 and 500.
Okay, yeah, so the last pull is 448 horsepower, 511 foot-pounds of torque, which is kind of crazy to see that much with only a with BWS. But like I said, we're only at 22 pounds, so we'll get this thing home, we'll get it on the road, see if it makes full boost on a rip, and then we'll go from there. And then if it's right on the road, then we'll see if we can get back to the dyno and maybe play with the brake, or go from there, I guess. But we'll bring you guys back in when we get out. We're just gonna go ahead and unhook the car. We're gonna get it loaded up, get going home. So we'll bring you guys back in when we get there. Okay. So we're gonna put some heat in the car, and then I'm gonna back the thing out of here. And I think the fuel, we're good. I'm gonna go make I'm gonna go make one hit with the car, see what it does for boost, and see if it comes up on peak. And if it does, then we'll know it's just a loading issue on the dyno. Because on the dyno, and I'll overlay the graph here, and I didn't talk about it a whole lot there, and I briefed on it a little bit, but when you look at the dyno and even looking at the log, the car is super lazy way down low. So he's nailing it at $2 grand and 2,500, which is where we log on the street. But on the street, when I get up to 32, 3,300, I'm at almost 300 kPa, which is 29 pounds of boost. So on the dyno, I wasn't seeing 220 to 230 kPa, which is like 21 pounds of boost, until 4,200. So we're like 800 RPMs out on the spool. The torque is way down, which would make sense because it's not making boost until higher RPM. And then we're only carrying 20 to 21 pounds out. Now at 20 to 21 pounds, we were still at just under 400 horsepower. So if I would have been able to actually make 29 pounds on the dyno, it would have been awesome to see what the car actually did. But for some reason, just for what it does, wanted to log it that way. So I'm gonna drive it, see if maybe there's an issue with the map itself, or you know, something else is going on, because I'm gonna check the map and I'm gonna look at the boost gauge. Jake didn't mention looking at the boost gauge. I think he was just looking at the wideband and everything else to make sure that we weren't gonna have any issues, because I don't have a cluster in here. So he was looking at the laptop instead of the boost gauge itself. So we were taking all the data we had for the car right from the computer. So I'm gonna go make that pass, see if the computer still only sees 230 to 240 kPa, and look at the boost gauge and see what we got going on, and then it'll tell us, you know. So maybe I got a map sensor problem, or maybe there actually wasn't enough load on the dyno to do what we did. Now we tried it at 0%, we tried it at 6%, we tried it at 10%, we tried it at 14%, and it didn't really matter. It was just kind of, boost was just all over the place. Come here, buddy.
Sit.
Come here, Zeus. Come here. That's a good boy.
Oh, yeah, that's...
We'll rinse it off. Dog got excited and pissed on the gate of the trailer. Oh well. And then Jake had this scooter. He was, the wife just jokingly said something about taking it. He goes, oh, well, you can just have it. So we took it. So now we got a battery-powered scooter that she can ride at the racetrack. So she ain't got to run through the pits now. But anyway, I'm going to get this car unhooked. We're going to take this thing out and see what the hell's going on. This wire goes with the scooter.
Okay. Now under the camera.
Good thing it's waterproof. Still actually kind of warm. So by the time I get down to the under end of the road, turn around, we should be good. As long as I don't run out of fuel, which I should get my phone. Yeah, I'll get my phone before I get out of here. I'll set you guys up quick though. stood on it on the road, and let me try and make sense of this here. So we stood on it on the road, and I was at 250 by 3200, where it kind of rolled itself over and then really lost. And we were still at 246 by 55. But that 2.3, she was just a turd. The third gear stood on it I stood on it at 32. We were at 248 by 42, but that's all it made. And then it went to 250 after that. So, yeah, something's going on. I don't know if the boost controller is finally starting to work or what, but yeah, I mean, loaded up fourth gear on the road, nailed it at 2500, and we were at, good boost by 34, so that on its own says something. Don't make sense. So the only thing that I can think of is there is something going on. Maybe it is settings in the boost box that I messed up, but at the same time though, we just couldn't never make good boost on the dyno. Like right here, we were at 252, which is way lower than what we race it high. I mean, we're racing at 29 pounds. So whatever we went 134 miles an hour on, I could not replicate on the dyno today. But it's still not making what it should. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We'll have to figure it out. It's down on boost, but it's making it when it should. Well, I'll do another boost leak test, and I guess we'll compression test the motor, and it doesn't make sense though. I'll boost leak test, and maybe toss some numbers at the boost box, and we'll try this thing again later.